Yeah, Max, I mean, just for starters, how has fall camp been going for everyone? And what position have you primarily been working at so far?
Fall's been going pretty well so far. It's a little bit different this year than it has been in the past, but it's been fun. We've been getting after it, and I know the guys are excited. But primarily, I've been playing a little bit of second and a little bit of center for the most part.
What's your comfort level like there? I mean, obviously you've played quite a few positions so far since you've been at Tennessee.
I actually came here as an outfielder, so I'm pretty comfortable out there as well. And then obviously, I'm pretty comfortable at second too. So it's been good getting a little experience at both positions. It's been pretty fun, but it doesn't really matter which one I play at for me. I'm pretty comfortable at both.
All right, next we'll go to Ben McKee and then Ryan Shumpert.
Hey Max, I'm curious. I imagine you would have been one that was playing summer ball over the course of the summer. What did you do to kind of replace those live at bats, or just kind of make up for those game opportunities? I know it's hard to replicate, but I guess how did you get better over the offseason, and what did you want to work on this offseason?
Yeah, so when I was at home, I was still able to hit a little bit, but then I actually came back up here and we were able to do some live ABs with some of the pro guys that have been coming in and out of Tennessee lately. So it's been pretty fun. But we were able to do a lot still. I mean, obviously under the COVID restrictions and stuff, we weren't able to do as much as we would have liked with no summer ball. But we were able to make the most of it. A couple of us were, and I think we did a pretty good job.
With last season getting canceled, does this season have a bit of a unfinished business vibe from last year, or is it new team, new goals, turn the page?
I mean, obviously the returning guys would have loved to kind of see where we would have ended up at the end of the year, but ultimately we didn't get that opportunity with COVID and the season getting canceled. And I mean, I know a lot of guys are hungry to get back out there and show what they have, but it is a new team and a lot of new faces, and we're excited to see where we stack up.
All right, we'll go to Joseph next and then Mike Wilson.
Hey Max, I just want to ask, what's the chemistry like between you and other guys on the team? Through the long off season and just having the 2020 season end so abruptly.
The team's pretty close. We've had obviously guys that have been together now, some of us for 3 years, and then also the freshmen are starting to gel with us pretty well. And there's a lot of new faces that have a chance to be big contributors on this team. And I think we're excited for where it's going and the direction it's headed. And I can speak for everyone when I say everyone's very excited to get back out there.
Mike?
Max, I mean, obviously you've had a couple of interesting seasons so far at Tennessee and have yet to have a chance to play a full one. Do you feel like you're a well-kept secret? I mean, and what you're able to do just with the fact that, you had an injury the first year, then last year you basically got a month worth of games?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, I know that me in particular, we're all very excited to get out there and show what we can do. But this team, we got a lot of aspirations and a lot of hopes for this team, and we're all very excited. And I think it's going to be a fun season.
All right, we'll go to Ben and then back to Joseph.
I know it may be hard to do so when you lose a guy like Garrett Crochet and Zach Daniels, but do you feel like the team has left off or picked up where it left off when the season was canceled, or do you feel like there's needed to be some continuity built up since you did lose some key pieces?
I think it's picked up pretty much where it left off. There's been some guys that didn't have an opportunity to play last year that have been playing extremely well, and then there's some new faces that have come in and shown that there's a reason they're here. And then on top of that, the guys returning that did get the opportunities to play have continued to make strides and continue to get better as individuals and as a team.
You've mentioned those new faces a couple of times. Who are those new guys that are kind of showing out?
There's a Blade Tidwell. I'm sure y'all have heard of him, but he's a pretty good pitcher. And then Fitzy, Jake Fitzgibbons, little lefty, he's pretty good too. And then you got guys like Kyle Booker, who's shown that he can be pretty dangerous with the bat. And then guys like Charlie Taylor behind the plate, he's been showing that he can, hang around and play with Pav and Jackson Greer.
Joseph?
Yeah, you've been here for a few years, and obviously last season was pretty short. But do you see yourself starting to step in to more of a bigger leadership role, even though you're such a young player for this team?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I even think that because of the group of guys we had last year, it was almost like there was a lot of younger guys that kind of became leaders last year in the fall and then kind of carried over into the spring. But we still have like the core group that have been here for 3 years now. And, everyone's kind of starting to fall into where they're going to lie with the team and kind of into their own niches and stuff. So, I mean, it's starting to come together pretty well.
What's been your advice to these younger guys and some of these guys that aren't really experienced?
I mean, just that it's a long fall, it's a grind, but ultimately you're just trying to go out there every day and find a small way to get better every day in order to help this team be the team that it can be in the spring.
We'll go to Ryan.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it a minute ago, but who have been the hardest pitchers to face so far this fall?
Hardest pitchers to face, honestly, probably Blade is up there. And then you got guys like Elijah who've come back and they're, starting to be the pitcher that he's always been able to be. And he's starting to, kind of dice up some guys pretty well. And then you still got Chad. And unfortunately, we lost Garrett. But, I think that there's some guys that can come in and do just okay.
Mike?
You just mentioned Garrett. What was it like seeing him pitch for the White Sox this season and just seeing him go from being your teammate 6 months ago and then being in the big league 6 months later?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, me and Garrett and I are pretty close, and obviously we've had many talks about that day that he got to experience there. But I mean, I could say I was shocked, but I really wasn't. I mean, y'all know Garrett; he's pretty different compared to everyone else. He's a freak. But it was awesome to see him do that, and it was cool catching up with him when he was here last week.
Ben?
What has Jackson Greer added to the team?
Greer's brought a lot to the team. He's an older guy, but he's got a lot of fire, and he loves Tennessee. He's wanted to play here for a while now, and he's pretty excited for the opportunity. And he just brings another old guy who's been around and another guy who's hungry and wanting to win.
Mike, do you have another one?
I didn't, but I can ask one anyway. Max, when it comes to replacing a bat like Al, I mean, who do you think is a guy capable of kind of stepping into that type of role this season?
There's a lot of guys that I could name right now, but I mean, one obviously is Jordan Beck and then Drew Gilbert, but then you got guys like Jarrell Ortega, who unfortunately didn't get to play last year because he had Tommy John in the summer. But I mean, he's been swinging as well as anyone this fall, and I think he's going to get his opportunities, and he's going to help this team a lot.
I will take a couple more. We'll start with Ryan.
Yeah, you mentioned a minute ago having kind of the same core that's been there for a few years back. Do you feel like guys are kind of more set into their roles at this point than they have been, I guess, in your first two off seasons, first two falls?
I don't know. I think that there's just a lot of guys that have kind of been around the league and know the way Coach V wants things done and the way that the high standard we hold this program to. I just think that they're able to, kind of instill that in the younger guys and help them grow and gel with us as a unit.
Ben?
I know baseball is a sport that kind of naturally social distances, but how has it been like to work out this fall, dealing with the COVID restrictions and all of that fun stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's been different for sure, but we have a pretty good group over there with Coach Q, Coach V, and Woody, who have done their best to make sure that we handle this the right way and kind of stay socially distanced and still be able to get our work in while still being safe.
All right, we got time for one more. Anyone got one? All righty. Thanks, Max.